Have you ever wondered what it would be like to walk in a place where perfection has no limits, where the air is pure, the vegetation lush, and every creature reflects the goodness of its creator? Before the history we know, before any shadow or sin, there was an Eden full of light, colors, and life, a world prepared with such careful detail that even the angels marveled. There, man and woman lived in communion with God, surrounded by crystal-clear rivers, fruit-bearing trees, and birds that sang praises. Today you will discover this world, see creation as never before, and feel the splendor of a planet shaped by the very hand of God. In the beginning, when silence still hovered over the void and darkness covered the face of the deep, the voice of the Lord echoed like a gentle thunder, bringing order to chaos. By the word of the Lord the heavens were made, and all their host by the breath of his mouth. For he spoke, and it came to be. He commanded, and it stood firm. Psalm 33:6-9. With a single command, light pierced the darkness, revealing a world shaped by the perfection of his hands. The waters gathered, giving rise to majestic rivers and shimmering lakes. Mountains rose, not rugged but graceful, adorned with green hills and fertile plains. There were no foul swamps or barren deserts, only vibrant life, fragrant flowers, and towering trees crowning the landscape. The air was pure, free from any corruption, and the angels rejoiced as they contemplated each detail of God's perfect work. After every majestic act came the crown of creation, humanity. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over all the earth." Genesis 1:26. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. Genesis 1:27. There was no mystery in their origin, no room for doubt. Mankind was formed by God himself, not the result of chance or the evolution of lesser beings. The Creator, who painted the starry heavens and adorned the fields with delicate flowers, shaped Adam from the dust of the ground and breathed into him the breath of life. Adam was the son of God, Luke 3:38. As God's representative, he received dominion over animals, birds, and fish, becoming Lord of creation. The psalmist declares, "You made him ruler over the works of your hands. You put everything under his feet." Psalm 8:6-8. Man reflected the image of God, not only in appearance but also in character, pure, holy, in perfect harmony with his Creator's will. Adam stood with majestic stature and perfect symmetry, his face radiant with health and joy. Eve, created as his companion, shared the same glory and dignity, clothed not in fabric but in a garment of light that shone like that of the angels. "It is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." Genesis 2:18. Thus God took a rib from Adam and formed Eve, not to rule over him nor to be inferior, but to stand beside him as his equal, loved and protected. "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother, and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Genesis 2:24. God himself celebrated the first marriage, instituting matrimony as a blessing and foundation of society. Together, Adam and Eve beheld Eden, their home filled with fruit trees, fragrant flowers, and the tree of life shining at the garden's center as a promise of eternity. On the seventh day, after completing creation, God looked at all he had made and saw that it was very good. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. Genesis 2:1. Then on the seventh day God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work. So God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Genesis 2:2-3. Not because he was weary, but as an eternal memorial of his creative power. For Adam and Eve, the Sabbath became a day of gratitude and contemplation, a time to lift their eyes to heaven and acknowledge God's majesty, reflecting on the completed work of creation and filling their hearts with reverence and praise. Eden, with its perfect harmony, its unmatched beauty and its abundance, was a living expression of divine glory and the place where humanity began its story, created to live in holiness, wisdom, and joy before God. And thus, the work of creation was completed in fullness. Every detail, from the smallest speck of dust to the vast expanse of the heavens, reflected God's infinite wisdom and goodness. Eden blossomed with colors and delightful fragrances. Rivers sang softly, and fruit-laden trees offered nourishment and delight to the perfect couple who walked among them. Clothed in the light of divine glory, Adam and Eve experienced joy and holiness, living in perfect harmony with the Creator's will. Work in the garden was not a burden but a pleasure, caring. Cultivating and naming the creatures gave them intellectual, physical and spiritual satisfaction, teaching them the value of order, care, and love for what was entrusted to them. Each day revealed new details of God's greatness, and each sunset reminded them that the universe's perfection was the fruit of a divine, eternal and just plan. The story of creation leaves us with an eternal truth. The world, every creature, and humanity itself are reflections of God's wisdom and love. Eden is the symbol of divine harmony and care, and humanity was placed there not as unconscious servants, but as children and representatives of their Creator, with freedom, responsibility, and joy. Every detail of the Lord's masterpiece, from the vastness of the skies to the delicacy of a flower, reveals that life is sacred, that obedience and contemplation of creation lead to happiness, and that God's love is the light that sustains the universe. The chapter of creation closes with heaven, earth, man, and woman, united in perfect communion with their God, in a world ready to flourish under the Creator's guidance and protection.